Before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the Xbox related content that I've been doing over the past couple of days. The more times you guys watch the Xbox and PlayStation 5 stuff, the more I will talk about that stuff because I'm a man of the people and I have to give the people what they want. But today, we're going back to our tried and true and trusted alliteration, Nintendo. And no, we're not talking about some Nintendo Direct that was allegedly confirmed for February 7th. Here we are on February 7th. There's no Nintendo Direct on February 7th, but it's okay because those false prophets who peddled that information out there have now let you know that it's next week and everything's okay. Maybe some people think that's mean of me to say, but it's like, come on, dude. Like, if that's what you want to watch, that's cool with me. But no, we have some tangible Nintendo stuff to talk about today. We have some updated sales statistics for hardware and software. One game I want to focus in on happens to be the Legend of Zelda stuff. And we also have a bit of a statement about the Nintendo Switch 2 for 2024 from President Furukawa, and people are worried about it. So let's just hop straight into this. We're going to talk about software sales first, because obviously we got updated sales statistics. The Switch hardware is still selling well, probably better than it should considering, where we are in this life cycle of the system, but it's been very impressive. Software sales are still absolutely insane. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold over 60 million copies. It's at 60.58 million copies. Do you understand how crazy that is? This isn't a pack-in game. Sometimes it's a seasonal pack-in game. But a game like Wii Sports, if you bought a Wii, like there's a good chance that Wii Sports came with it bundled. Like this isn't a situation like that. This game is just selling that on its own. So, shout outs to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But we have to talk about The Legend of Zelda, because there was some very interesting conversations both leading up to the release of Tears of the Kingdom and then after Tears of the Kingdom, and many people let me know, RGT, Tears of the Kingdom is gonna outsell Breath of the Wild by so much. It's gonna be so crazy. And I was like, I don't think so. I think it'll sell very well, but I don't necessarily think it'll be able to catch up to Breath of the Wild, because I'll explain in a minute why. But Breath of the Wild currently sits at 31.61 million units sold. Obviously, this game was a launch game released 7 years ago, so it's had a lot longer of a time. Now, when Tears of the Kingdom first came out, I believe like the first sales number that we got for that game was like over 18 million. And people were quick to say, look, it's going to dominate. It's going to be crazy. And when we had this announcement of the, investors meeting and that we were going to get updated sales statistics, so many people were like, oh, 23, 24 million sold. But it sits at 20.28 million units sold. Now let's get this out of the way first and foremost. I'm not saying that's disappointing. I'm not saying that's a failure. I'm not saying 20 million is crazy. Anything over 5 million in the modern gaming era is a great number. And considering Nintendo has so many titles above 5 million copies sold, it's just a testament to their first party software and that people enjoy it. But Tears of the Kingdom sitting at, 11 million off from Breath of the Wild. But more importantly, there was a sharp decline in Tears of the Kingdom sales. We had a holiday season, and that really didn't seem to do too much with this game as far as the sales are concerned, as far as it eclipsing Breath of the Wild. Now, obviously, there's still a lot of time, but basing it on trends and basing the slow decline of Breath of the Wild to something like a sharp decline of Tears of the Kingdom, we now have reports coming out from Kit and Krista. I don't remember the name of their new show. I'm sorry, but they like me for some reason. They want to work with me. I guess they find my jokes about them funny, or they've never heard them. Either way, but we'll do something with Kit and Krista. They're fine. They made a video saying that they've heard internally at Nintendo that Nintendo is a bit disappointed with seeing this and a bit saddened by the decline of Tears of the Kingdom sales. No, I'm not saying that they didn't hear that, because I don't have any sources at Nintendo themselves, but I don't think that that's necessarily the mantra. And this is where we get into the explanation portion of it. First and foremost, you got to remember, Tears of the Kingdom is selling at $70, not $60 like Breath of the Wild did. It's a premium priced product, meaning that you're making more money off of this game than you would have Breath of the Wild. But the reason why I always thought that Tears of the Kingdom, it could have been the most amazing thing in the world, why I didn't think it would eclipse Breath of the Wild, was primarily because Breath of the Wild was, something special. Breath of the Wild took that standard Legend of Zelda formula that had been around for decades and then made it something completely different, completely new. It had that wow factor. It was a launch title. It was the first time we saw an open world Zelda game. And it was a great game. I absolutely loved that game to death. But let's be realistic. There were people who didn't care for that style. They wanted a more traditional Zelda style. A lot of people bought this game, I feel, a bit out of curiosity, or if they picked up a Switch, like, what else are you gonna buy? Of course you're gonna buy Breath of the Wild. With Tears of the Kingdom, it was, and it is, a better Breath of the Wild game. But if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, you're obviously not gonna pick up this game at $70 because you've already sampled it. You've already tried it out. You already know kind of what to expect from this game. So I think that this number is about where it should be. I don't think Nintendo is necessarily disappointed because I think they understood that, hey, there's a small group of people who prefer more traditional Zelda style game. The game is still doing absolutely insanely bonkers, by the way. 20 million is nuts. I just never thought it was a sure thing to surpass Breath of the Wild, and it looks like I'm right. But let me know what you think about that in the comments section down below. And now we got to get into some Nintendo Switch 2 goodness, because oh my, at this earnings report thing, President Furukawa said something that a lot of people were not thrilled about. And I think a lot of people are potentially reading this the wrong way. And I don't know, it's just the overreaction of the internet, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not trying to put myself up on a pedestal. I've overreacted to stuff all the time. But in this situation, we should know a little bit better. So we have a statement from President Furukawa about what the main business is going to be for Nintendo in the fiscal year of 2024. And he said the Nintendo Switch, the existing Switch, will be Nintendo's main business heading into this fiscal year of 2024. The company's plans for the next fiscal year will be shared at its next earnings briefing, he added. So, people are seeing this. Well, heading into 2024, that means no Switch 2 this year. Everyone's an idiot. 2025, 2026, who knows? And I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to be taking away from this. Heading into 2024, we've already headed into 2024. 2023 essentially ends in March for these companies because they go on a different year, March to March. So yes, heading into the year of 2024, you're going to be, as far as the calendar year is concerned, January, February, potentially March. Yeah, this is our main bit of focus. But after that, something could be completely different. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, first and foremost, because of these false prophets out there, people were potentially expecting something this week. People were potentially expecting something last month. Holy hell, man. These people are crazy. But no, obviously that's not going to happen so soon into the year. It's not like the system is coming out in March like they did with the original Nintendo Switch system. Now, as far as the Switch 2 presentation is concerned, what have I heard from it? I have heard March is a good possibility. I've heard this from trusted and reputable people in the know, but I still am not convinced. I'm still not convinced that March is really the right month for this. I still think March 31st comes and goes, and then like in April, you get something, because obviously there's going to be a direct at some point this month. It's probably going to be a bit of a soft direct. I know people think this is going to be the biggest one ever. Spoiler alerts, there is no hardware at this, you morons. Have you ever watched a direct before? They never have new They're never just like, oh, look at this. There's some hardware for 3 minutes. Like, no, come on. But I guess, there's always the chance, and maybe I'm the moron. But more importantly, if you are gearing up for a new system, why are you going to put these huge new experiences on the current system when you look at the software library? There's a lot of remakes, remasters, and then smaller budget games like Princess Peach. So I expect this direct to be soft. I don't think it's going to be all that crazy. I think it's going to be a pretty, solid but potentially mediocre event. But all because Nintendo is remaining tight-lipped about this situation, and President Furukawa isn't saying, like, do people expect Furukawa to just slip up at one of these events and be like, oh yeah, we're doing the Switch 2 this year. Oh shit, I didn't mean to say that. That was a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm so like, no, come on, dude. This dude's running a multi-billion-dollar business. Like, he's not a jackass like me. I would be the one to slip up and say something because I need that sweet ad revenue. But there's nothing to worry about with Tears of the Kingdom. There's nothing to worry about with the Nintendo Switch 2. It's not going to be a 2025 thing. At least I don't think it is. But who knows? There's always the chance that it could be. I just personally wouldn't look too deeply into what Furukawa is saying here. I would take it very surface level. I would take it bare bones, sort of. Yeah, they're not ready to talk quite yet. Why would they be? Nothing has been formally announced. Nothing has been revealed. So what's the point? This isn't a situation like with Microsoft where, you know, they're forced to say something. I don't think you could force Nintendo to say anything beyond what they've already said until they are damn well ready to. But speaking of Xbox, who knows? There might be some Xbox games at this Nintendo Direct. Could that be the reason that it's next week instead of this week? Spoiler alert, it's not the reason. But hey, it's fun to fantasize and stuff. Let me know what you think of all of this in the comments section down below. Is Tears of the Kingdom going to surpass Breath of the Wild? If so, please state your reasonings. Give sources as well. Feelings, I'm not interested in that. If you feel like it will, yeah, that's fine. But I need to see some definitive proof here, pal. And Switch 2. 2024, 2025, 2020 never. You know, maybe Xbox makes the Nintendo Switch 2, you know, Nintendo and Xbox merge together. And it's the Xbox Switch 2 coming out in 2027 or something. Who knows? Who knows? Let me know what you think of all of this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.